Welcome to Exploring This Life, Season 1, Episode 16. Okay, good morning and welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been here before, welcome to your first time. We are heading out on a day trip today. Where are we going?
We're going to near a town called Wabuska, and it's 40 miles and 40 minutes from here before we get to Yerington. And we're going to a reduction works site called Thompson Reduction Works.
And what are we expecting to see there?
Well, there's going to be kind of like the Minnesota mine. There's going to be remnants of the buildings, like the foundational cement parts. And then nearby there is a ghost town, the Thompson Ghost Town, but I hear it's fenced off. And my friend who volunteers at the museum I work at, he's the one that told me about this site and has given us a book that has information and also directions. So we kind of really know nothing about this yet.
Yeah,
and
it's going to be kind of a find and seek kind of thing today, because we kind of know the area, but we don't know exactly. So we're just going to kind of play it by ear. The pictures are pretty amazing, but I don't expect to see any of that stuff out there.
No.
So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we will catch back up with you once we get closer.
This is the little town of Wabuska. It used to have a train depot here. And let me show you out of this railroad book. I'm not sure exactly which direction, so I might be turned the wrong direction and I'll figure that out. But so this is in the book, the little Wabuska station. And with the mountains in the background in this picture, I'm thinking maybe I'm standing in the wrong direction. So I'm going to turn around. And I think maybe the station was that direction. Yeah, it looks like it. So I think the station, Corey, was that way. I'm going to hold the book open. If you hold that real quick, the book. Because look at that mountain range. It kind of looks more like that mountain range kind of looks more like that set of mountains, don't you think, than what's behind us?
I don't know.
Okay, you can go ahead and close that. Unless this right here, these foundations were the station. So, again, I'm not exactly sure.
This is not the building here.
I know that is not the building, because it sat right by the railroad tracks. But I'm just wondering but that looks a little too high of a peak.
I don't know.
Mountain. Unless the tracks have moved.
I don't think the tracks have moved. I wonder what. The road maybe moved.
Maybe. And maybe the depot was farther back.
Little like poles with lights.
Yeah. That's a lot of... I wonder if they were RV hookups. No?
It could have been. Look at the... pole has
Like an electric box, sort of. I wonder if these had cabins here or something, or a little. But yeah, it's in this whole area. Upland. I'll have to do some research on Wabuska. I know nothing about this town at all.
well, I mean,
I'm gonna go look at the shed. Well, it might have been one because it has a town sign with an elevation, the Wabuska. Or I wonder if that was the hill that's in the picture. No.
that's more like a mountain range.
Okay.
I honestly think that.
Okay. But yeah, all those electric outlets all the way down.
Yeah, there's got to be like 30 of them.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a conveyor belt.
Or something. There's more down there.
Mm-hmm. So Corey found this eye wash station. Oh, there's a pump, a water handle pump right here, like for an old, like spigot area. You know, the old-fashioned.
No kidding.
And then, so.
Pretty crudely built.
Yeah, I mean, other than the cement.
See, that track runs back towards the highway, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, which would make sense because that's the way we're going back to go to the Julian Drive. So I bet that went to the Thompson Reduction Works.
So this could be the one that actually brought the ore down
yeah,
to
the
railroad
Nevada,
station.
the Nevada, what did I call the Copper Belt Railroad. Mm-hmm. So this is probably, yeah, the Nevada Copper Belt Railroad. What do you think it is?
I would think there's some sort of an air duct system that probably stuck out of the building. Just like this would be mounted to the building, and then this would flare whatever out. I'd really like to get over that.
Let's walk across. So I'm going to sniff this to see if it's sulfur. It is. Smell.
I'm good, thanks.
I'm going to take some sulfur home. Nice. These are pretty good chunks of it. The whole ground is kind of covered with it. Yep, it smells like, you know, those the caps from when we were kids that you would, for the cap guns. That's what this kind of smells like. I don't know how deep that goes. Well, looks like about 6 feet down. Can you smell it?
Yeah, that would have probably been some sort of storage tank, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably pumped it out.
Look how bright yellow that stuff is.
Yeah, it's like, because there's rollers down below.
Oh yeah.
And this looks almost like
A sluice box?
Because see, each one is separate.
Mm-hmm.
Some are smaller than others, or maybe it broke.
Yeah, it looks like it broke right there. See that?
I wonder what that's made of. Plastic.
Huh.
And it's got PVC going through it to feed it. Maybe they needed to keep it wet, which makes sense.
Can you smell it?
I'll bet they watered it down and then let it dry to
Oh.
form a harder
Right.
mixture.
Well, we can research how they mine or whatever, sulfur, process it, whatever they were doing here. I did a little research when we got home. In 2018, a company called Itronics Inc. purchased this under a 6-month lease with an option to extend the lease, and they were their primary technologies, it says in the article, which you can check out. We'll post it in the description. The primary technologies are the new hydrometallurgical processes for leaching iron, zinc, and sulfur for use in the production of Golden Grow micronutrient fertilizers and high silver content concentrates for e-scrap refining. Say that again.
This would probably have been the motor, chain driven. There would have been another piece here that the chain connected to drive the belt that fed this maybe. And then you've got a tumbler up top with teeth on it that probably crushed the bigger rocks into smaller rocks.
Do you see any names on this, like who would have made this? Manufacturer. Oh, right there, Sandvik. Right here.
Yeah.
I don't know, this copper, or not the copper, the sulfur's pretty. But look, there's more foundational stuff out there.
Yeah. Interesting.
It is.
I wonder if we can find out about Wabuska sulfur.
Yeah. We'll do some research when we get home. I'm gonna take some sulfur with me. There looks like a pile of it over there. What do you see there? Oh, wow.
Obsidian?
I don't know what that is. I'll have to... You don't have any hands either.
That's not obsidian.
Is it tar? Like tar chunks? Yeah, keep that little piece. That's pretty. But look at that. It might be obsidian.
I don't think so.
You don't? Well, I'm gonna take it. And
I don't even think this is glass. I think this is plastic.
really? Yeah, we'll figure out what the smooth black rock is. We're leaving Wabuska, the tiny little town. And then up here we will be turning right.
Right or left?
Right.
Oh.
So do you see that road running there, kind of where that vehicle is? That's where we're going to be turning. Right here.
Going that way.
Yes. Like right after the big white chain installation sign. Okay. Then we do go over this cattle guard, and then we follow, the road will fork in the dirt, take the road that goes up the hill. So that way.
Alrighty then.
Geothermal. Homestretch Geothermal welcomes you to Wabuska, Nevada's first geothermal plant.
Interesting. I wonder if that's what that is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I wonder if it's still running.
We can drive down on the way out and see. It looks fairly traveled. A big garbage dump there. Oh, this makes sense because there's a cattle guard on this side too. Okay, so that's the town side of Thompson to the right because it's fenced in, like you said. And you can see the remnants of the building, so we'll have to come back on the way and maybe you can fly the drone over that area.
Maybe.
And then up here on the hill is the smelting. Yeah, there are a lot of foundations in there.
There was some trash piles right in there too.
Cool, we'll walk around that. So this was much closer than what we just did. Yeah, go that way. Your keys. I wonder if we will be able to see the remnants of the railroad out to here.
People camped back over there. Looked like an RV in a comic box.
There's a lot of trash through here too. So this will be a good area to walk around and explore. It's a pretty big area. It looks much bigger than what it seems like from the road.
I'm gonna walk inside of this little foundation area. If I can figure out how to get inside without a huge drop off.
Some bricks left. Just a lot of cans and glass and bricks. Pretty typical of all these ruins.
Doesn't look like that's going to be possible. A lot of trash down in there. We'll try this building over here. I flew over it with the drone. This is the new gimbal. It's way better than the other one. So much easier to set up and calibrate, I guess. The old window frame here. I don't know if you guys can see him. See if we can get a little bit closer to him. Okay, off he goes. Anyways, I was talking about the old picture, the old window frame here. Very cool. Odd. I don't see a doorway. What? I'm guessing the only way in was from above.
These lizards have really cool tails. Look at his tail. They wag their tails back and forth. Hey. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Hey. What are you doing? Hey. Very cool guy. So this has to be from the process of smelting. I mean, this area looks burned, but I don't understand how smelting works, so we'll have to figure that out. Some very neat looking layers. They run with their tails up like scorpions. And they swish them back and forth. I don't know what all of this is, but it's like, it's the same type of like a rock material, but it's all rounded like it came out of tubes or something. It sounds like glass though, so this might all be burnt glass? I mean, I don't even know. I hope I can find someone who can explain this to me. Because all these black pieces look like glass. And it's all over.
Found another little foundation here. It's probably 1 story down, and then I'm standing on a cement slab up at the top. There's honey.
Did you fly over the town?
No. I figure we'll do that on the way out.
Okay. This whole area is crucibles. Let's just pause for a second right here. What we're about to look at is a pile of cupels, not crucibles. I was mistaken when I had thought that all of the little tiny assay pot things were all called crucibles. The bigger ones are. These little tiny ones are cupels.
So we were walking past this building that I was just filming, and Honey just found a ton of old crucibles just laying here.
Yeah, for the assaying.
These aren't rocks. These are crucibles. This is what they used to use for small amounts of measurement to analyze what was in the ore or dirt or whatever it was that they were processing here.
And they could only be used once because of the contamination, is what Joe told me.
Yeah. But those right there, those little, look like little bucket type things, those are crucibles. So it would appear they used them and threw them outside.
This is like their, when we were at Butters, we found a pile like this, but they weren't in as good condition. So Joe thought that that must be their trash pile for them.
Maybe.
So they probably just threw them in one location.
Excellent find. They're all over here too. Tons of them.
Are they all the same size, or they're?
Yeah, pretty much. So what I'm looking at is these right here. A great find. Out here you probably won't find bigger crucibles than that, because those would have been way more valuable to the miners. And they were probably taken out of here when the mine shut down, either resold or whatever the case may be. Another foundation. This one's ground level. Old timbers. This would have been a big building. Probably 20 by 40 or 20 by 80. It's hard to say because I can't see where it ends. Oh, it looks like it's right up here. So probably 20 by 60 with some sort of a, this must have been some sort of storage for some sort of liquid maybe, or maybe there was a tank of some sort set down in there. But looking at it, it looks like there's no foundational part on this end, so it might have been a 3-wall building with a roof kind of like a workshop, where there was no need for actual doors on this side, probably because the wind doesn't blow from this way.
So braided metal wire with these, let me get out of the way so my shadow isn't. Cables, I should say, with whatever metal chunks these are. And there's another lizard. Hi. Any friends? Nope.
Again, this is the first time out with this new gimbal, so I'm not sure how it's gonna actually turn out with the stabilization. I can tell you it is 100% better than the last drone we had, or the last gimbal we had. This one allows me to change the f-stops, the ISO. It's got so many different modes to it. More trash. I don't know. I guess you could probably get in there. I'm seeing pieces. Hey, check this out. Right at the doorway, I think, is a broken crucible, a big one. And then there's other pieces of it throughout.
Okay.
It looks like it's some sort of clay with a hard exterior. Let me see if I can zoom in on that for
Oh
you.
yeah, that is broken pottery for sure. Or ceramic, I should say.
That right there is what I'm talking about. There's two pieces right there. But there's probably 8 or 9 pieces of that in here.
There are a lot of lizards down here too. Here's a really big guy in the crack. I'm gonna try to take his picture. He's a monster. Doing push-ups for the ladies. He's He's very trusting. Hi, dude. He's just looking at me. What a funny nut. Hi. My pockets are so full of rocks, I can hardly walk. But it looks like there were several of these big ceramic pieces.
Well, I wonder if it wasn't one big, huge crucible.
It could have been a really big one, because, I mean, they're all the same color.
Yeah.
Well, and all the tins were open with the old kind of can openers that were the triangle end. That
Yeah. That would be probably back in the 70s, early 80s, at the earliest.
Yeah, I know the site operated from like 1910 through 1930, I think.
Oh.
I'll have to look again when we get home.
Some of these actually had the really old style where you had to puncture through the tin.
It is extremely warm today, and it's like 10 o'clock, I think. So I'm glad we got out here earlier rather than later. See all the brick left over from the structure. There's Corey's drone, and a big jackrabbit ran away. Looks like 10/21/1939. This is washed out through here. You can see the remnants of a piping system. A lot of foundational material. Sure, this is blocked off so no one falls in. It's a lot of brick. And there's the whole site. Somebody camps up here. It's probably a pretty nice camp spot, but they've made a little fire pit there in the middle, and they have firewood and then strings laid across here, probably to put a tarp, and then they have some camping chairs. That's pretty nice. We've got a little collection of rocks going. And this is their grill. There's definitely enough bricks to make stuff like this out of here. Firewood, and then they're just building a wall around. That's really fun. So, if you look here, we're standing right about here. And on the left, John wrote that the whole section of foundations on the left were crushers. And then there was a conveyor belt that ran right along here to move the ore. And then, because we're standing here, Corey will pan over after, this site here is now just foundations on the edge, and he put a question mark, maybe that was the chimney, because this was a smelter, so there would have been a lot of heat. And then the large buildings were over kind of on the right. Side. So if you look at that photo and then look at where we're standing.
Anyways, so the area Honey's talking about is over there.
Yeah, the left side would have been the crushers.
And this would have been the chimney area he had marked in the book.
Mm-hmm. And it was a solid roof that went over both sides of these foundations. And then that area down there on the right where we were parked was a giant building.
Right there.
And then there's a square building kind of on the far right. And you can see in this picture, there was a building there on the very far.
I think that is where we were parked.
Yeah, we were parked right about there.
So this would have been this area.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
And so those triangular things, that's where the conveyor belt ran.
Okay. Interesting.
So this was where the old town of Thompson was, and Corey's going to fly over with the drone, and there are just several small foundations of what's left of the buildings. Can't go in though. It's fenced off. I was trying to find the exact year that the Thompson Town site was established, and I haven't been able to pinpoint an exact date. But the first smelter on the Thompson site started in 1912. And I'm looking at a website right now called nvexpeditions.com, and we'll put their link in the descriptions as well. But they said that 700 to 1,000 tons of copper each day were treated at the Thompson Smelter. And then in either 1913 or 1914, a second furnace was added to the smelter. And so this Thompson town site was created to house the workers. In 1914, the town site grew to nearly 350 people, and they had several residential blocks of houses, stores, they had saloons, and they even had an auto repair shop. The Thompson Post Office ran from June 28, 1911 through June 30th, 1920. So the workers lived either here in this Thompson town site or in Wabuska or further down in Mason Valley, and the smelter's prosperity didn't last very long, and the site actually closed in late 1914. However, it did reopen again in 1917, but it lasted only 2 years until 1919. And it reopened one final time at a it says reduced capacity, and it ran from 1926 until 1928. Thanks for following along with us as we visited the town of Wabuska and the old Thompson Smelter and the Thompson Ghost Town. I want to give a special thanks to my friend John, who told me about the site and who also loaned me the book that had the pictures in it, so we were able to better visualize this property, how it was back when it was functioning. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. It is free to subscribe, and once you are a subscriber, you will be able to like our videos, and you will also be able to leave a comment. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so please go and follow us there. We look forward to our next adventure and being able to share that video with you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.